We're live whenever you're ready. If any recording or live stream is made of this public meeting, it is the property of the individuals recording or live streaming the event. It is not the property of the city of Sarasota. The city of Sarasota does not have or maintain a copy of any recording or live stream. The recording or live stream, which may be edited or modified, are the sole property of the individuals who made the recording or live stream. Such individuals are solely responsible for its contents. Any requests for a copy or issues or concerns about the recording or live stream should be directed to the individuals who made the recording or live stream. So we have responsive proposals on Article 7 along with Article 21. As y'all have recognized, there's been changes with city leadership, and we have to get some further clarification on other issues. But we're able to at least provide a response on these issues for them.
We have all of these.
In concept, we are making a proposal as to just a 1 year. And we're making proposal for 3% for officers and sergeants. We still need to work on the CSI because our proposal for CSI was a little bit different from y'all's, and we need to go back and get some more clarity. And then we've made changes to the Article 21 from what was proposed before. And Stacy's going to walk through explaining what these new charts are, the meaning and explanation for that. That's on page 7, I believe.
We are proposing, as you probably noticed last time, a tier change. So in Plan 1 and Plan 2, the tiers were single, employee plus spouse, and family. Well, currently in this benefit year, we are changing the tier structure to single, employee plus child or children, which was not in the last proposal, but the amount of the biweekly is the same. And then employee plus spouse and family for both Plan 1 and 2. The biweekly that we proposed last time is not changing. This is the same information we gave the other union. We did add on this the value of the plan, and there is a purpose that we added the value of the plan. In other conversations, which this is a proposal for a 1 year at this point, but in 3-year contracts, we've talked about the progression over time of a philosophy where the value of the plan for employees is offered for 0 cost. That value of the plan then is subtracted off the value of the plan for the other dependent tiers. Now, this particular year is just the start of like a 3 to 5 year cycle to get there. So those are the biweekly proposals we have. And of course, our plan year is a calendar year. So these start in January. The dental rates are staying the same. So there's the proposal for that. We are not changing the tiers for that. Our dental plan is much more affordable as self-insurance than our medical and pharmacy, hence the changes we're making in the medical and pharmacy. And then for Section 2, we have provided $50,000 for life insurance. So we just made that clerical change for that. That's all I have, John.
Okay.
So just to clarify, Stacey, you had said previously we were waiting on some better numbers with the actuary study.
Yes.
So where are these just coming off of last year's numbers without a full comprehensive study being done, or where are these numbers coming from?
I didn't make a ton of copies of this, so I don't know who wants to look at this. What I'm going to hand you is our projections that we work with our broker and their actuarial team on. So what we have to do, and we ask them to do, is use the current benefit year. Well, right now we're only in May, right? So we got 5 years or 5 months in the bucket. We would like to have more months to make it more accurate. But by August, we have to know our rates for the next year. And when we sit here and negotiate, we have to know our rates. So what we try to do and hope, fingers crossed, is our projections get better. But as we go through the year, we accumulate more costs. So generally, they don't get better. We wish they would, but they don't. So what we have them do is look at what they projected for the full last benefit year, and then what they project for this year. So I'm sorry, these aren't numbered, but let me see if I can take you to a particular page that might be helpful. So we want to look at the page that starts with the 02 calendar year 26.
I'm seeing small page numbers.
You can go to that particular one. I'll count the pages in.
Got it.
5, 6 pages in.
Yep.
So it says medical and pharmacy at the top, and if you see it says CY calendar year 2026.
Is that the one with the 11 on the bottom right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep, thank you. I didn't even see the little page numbers. So this is an experience reprojection, because we've already had them do it once. We're like, we want better and more frequent numbers. But what you have here is a projection of our current costs, trying to project out what our premiums for employees need to be. So they take all these different areas into account. We're talking medical and pharmacy on this page, so we're not talking dental or life insurance or anything like that. So on the left side are actual claim costs. So it'll take you through paid medical and RX claims, total, actives, and retirees. So for us, if we just looked at the actives, it's the middle section. Paid claims, 11,700,494 is what they're looking at and projecting for our 2026. So with that, it kind of carries you down incurred costs versus some of our recap or recovery from stop loss. We've had a really rough year with a number of cases, and we can give you some more details on some of those high level, but stop loss hits at 250,000. After that, we get recovery. So we've gotten a little over 2 million in recovery. So that tells you we've had a lot of claims that are high level claims on our plan. Then it goes through trending and different incurred costs. And then PEPM is per employee per month cost from all of those claims. On the right side are fixed fees, and I won't go through all those, but those are all the fees we pay on our particular claim in our plan. So everything we administer, there's an administrative fee on. So, and it's generally per primary head is how that's counted. When you add in fixed fees and all the claim costs, we're right at 12.9 million on our plan. So if you go to the next page, this might be a little bit more helpful. But here are projected 3-tier rates. So this is what, maybe the simplest way to say it would be what a COBRA rate would be. It's the full premium cost for a plan. So that's our 3-tier. But our alternative method is the next page, which would be page 13, where we're looking to split the spouse and the children out. Now, our rationale for doing that is that employees that have 1 child, 5 children, however many on their plan, they could go into that tier and have a lower premium. The cost of children generally are less than an adult spouse. So the tier structure and the premium of that would reflect that. So we are hoping that individuals could make different choices in terms of what tier they're on and what the cost impact would be for them. With this also, with splitting out the spouse, the child, or children, we will also remove or do away with spousal surcharge. So if you guys are familiar with that, there was an additional, I think it ended up being about $50 a month for spousal surcharge if spouses have a different option. We're just going to now put that into the premium. So there's not going to be an additional charge for spouse.
Would, from talking with a lot of our membership, a concern was with the increased costs on these health insurances and looking at it from a bigger picture than just us. Let's say a City Works employee who is making less than what our membership is, how would they be able to afford this increase for their family? So some of the feedback that we've gotten from the membership is concern that, and without having numbers or proposals for other union memberships or general city membership, that perhaps we would be paying a little bit more than some of these other folks. Would you be up for or crafting some type of language, just putting into the contract that the increases for the health insurance are consistent across other represented and non-represented employees, so that our folks are more confident that we're not shouldering a larger load of the increased costs for medical?
I do, on theory, I would appreciate that, and I do understand that, but I don't want to take away the right of another union to negotiate what they need to negotiate. But I would say for non-represented, we would want the same, cost. This is all of our plans. This is all populations. So we do have to incur some of those premium costs. But I think what I'd struggle with a little bit is the other union being able to negotiate rates that might be slightly different based on their demographics. It's easier for us to administer, I'll be honest, if everyone has the same rate. So that's what we would strive to do, for sure. If these get updated, which we will push for probably the end of July, an update, we'll share that with you.
I'm just, it's a lot of information and thank you for it. I gotta tear it apart, but I'm a little confused. You saying that the percentage increase necessary coming up this year is
11.2.
11.2%, right?
I'm not saying that, but if you're pointing towards the trend increase that the actuarial has pointed out, that's for the premium funding. Yes, it went from 827 to like 920.
So what I don't know or don't, of this necessary 11.2% increase, how much is the city gonna take as a burden compared to the employee? What is their increase per month, your increase?
All right. Well, if you think about it, you're contributing what, 29 and the rate is 920.
What page are we on?
The rates we are suggesting are like $29 for an employee.
If you're single, that's the families are what go up tremendously.
Yeah, the plus ones and the children, that adds up quite a bit to these, families.
I would say that the answer would be if you look at the proposal, the monthly that we are proposing versus the value of the plan.
What page?
It's not on this handout, it's the proposal we gave you. Shows the value of the plan.
How much is the city's portion going up?
We paid like 90% of the incurred cost. So there's an actuarial value.
11.2 for the year. How much is the city gonna absorb?
We will absorb like $900 for a single. Okay, the 11.2% is on your full actuarial cost. That's a premium of a plan,
Right.
okay? So we
that's
are not charging.
11.2.
Yeah.
So the employee has to pay that 11.2. I'm asking, is the city paying anything towards that?
Yes.
And how much are
Almost
they?
all of that. I can do the calculation based on the value of the plan and the actuarial cost. And our incurred budget is going up too.
maybe what would be more simple, I think I understand what he's asking is what the increase of the budget for healthcare the city is projecting, and then we could compare that with the increased membership cost. That's probably the more simpler maybe piece of information that we could compare. Just, I think that's what he's asking. Is that something that you would possibly be able to?
I can answer that right now,
Okay.
but you're gonna have to do some formula on it. So we budget per head, every full-time employee, 11,900. Okay. We went up to 12,000 total, 12,004 maybe, and I'll get that figure, but it's a little over 5%. Okay, but that's on everyone's head. Look at this, we know singles and family are different, so we are subsidizing greatly family plans. Okay, so it's not a one-to-one value. Because we are not charging a single $12,000, right? It's 900, but family plans are almost 3. So you'll have to figure out that subsidy we're providing for the different levels. We don't do it based on the value of the plan because everybody can make changes throughout the whole budget year.
May I ask Stacy, so one, I appreciate you guys considering the complexity of this year and what it holds for us coming off of the storms last year. We talked about the FEMA, we got the presentations from the auditor's office and such. The 3%. If I could just share with you where we were at when we submitted 6% to you all. Breaking it down, either the annual or the hourly rate, we still sit 3%, according to my projections behind what the sheriff's office was when we started the fiscal year. And then projecting that they're going to get another normal cycle to increase of 3%, which has been the average over the past. That's where we came at with 6. Can I ask, was it 3% just we're okay with this, a bucket analysis, or were you taking into account that the sheriff's office is going to get some type of increase, and 3 would just bring us even with the past year?
So the percentage increase is to continue the negotiations because we understand that this time is valuable. We want to keep on moving. We, again, have to get further clarity from the leadership on the full structure of what we're doing. Hence why we have we're trying to get pros to keep things moving. Our view may change after we have this meeting. We got to talk with them. So, and make sure that we understand we're all aligned on the same page where we're going.
Can you clarify who is them?
To see the new city manager, the interim city manager. So we have to meet with them to confirm that where we began the negotiations under the prior city manager, interim city manager, is aligned with the new direction and same direction. But we are able to at least make this proposal to you, which is why we want to do that to show that we're still trying to negotiate with you, take your positions.
Okay. Any clarifying questions?
I have a question. When you're done, as far as that stuff.
Sure.
So I'm just wondering, the lieutenants gave you a proposal last time for pay only. Do you have a response?
So we wanted to clarify, was that everything else was status quo from your position? Okay, that wasn't clear when we got that. So we will get a proposal to you. I don't know that we have time today to put it together. Stacy?
No, I probably don't.
Okay. We will make sure that's the first thing when we meet next so that we can have a response. I should have asked that sooner earlier today, so I apologize for that.
You gave us the addendum to Article 7. You
Correct.
changes in Article 7?
So,
Are you looking for
no,
a one-year?
we're just talking about the pay proposal. The only thing in the pay proposal that was changed was the amount of salary.
And I guess that actually does beg a question. Will the lieutenants be seeking a 3-year or a 1 year?
Just a 1 year.
Just a 1 year increase.
Just, yeah, it's like the same as the officers and sergeant crime scene.
All right. What was the proposal before?
Lieutenant gave us was 1 year.
Just 1 year.
So one question came up was talking about the pension, COLA for pension. So you brought that up, but that's never been part of negotiations here, so what is? can you
So
explain your position on it?
The position is it's a subject of bargaining. And if you want to negotiate that, we are happy to do so. But it is something that has been bargained and passed before.
Already in past before
We went
in
to
2012,
Yes, 2011, actually.
but that, so a city commissioner proposed having staff look into the feasibility and the process to get that started. That process was stopped based on, I don't know why.
So-
I was told some different things.
So there's actually a special magistrate decision on that issue that you can find at PERC. Under City of Sarasota was the petitioner, 2011, and there is a decision, and I think there is even a hearing on it in front of the commission where it's resolved.
No, I'm actually very aware of the 2012 meeting where it was changed, but my question is, if a commissioner, it's a city ordinance, it says, it's a law that in the city books. If a commissioner, how does a commissioner then look at whether or not this should be changed or not? If the commissioner proposes it and it can't make an agenda, how does that happen?
So that is a legal question that I would encourage you to talk with your counsel about. But our position is it's a subject to negotiating and bargaining. We are happy to negotiate and bargain with you about that at the table.
Which table?
This table right here.
Because we're arguing are we talking about pensions here?
If you would like to raise pensions, we're happy to do
I
it. We have,
searched the contract and couldn't find it.
That's what.
Yeah.
that's what
I mean, there are a number of topics that aren't in the contract, and if there aren't any in the contract, we would take position to status quo. If you'd like to make a change to the status quo, we're happy to discuss it.
Not a contract item. There's no way you could say it is. It's not a contract item.
Okay. I respectfully disagree. It is not something that can be bargained and negotiated.
Wait, it is or is not something?
It is something that can be bargained and negotiated. And we're happy to discuss it. And if you want to put it in the contract, we can start discussing what would that would look like.
So when we met the last 3-year contract that we put together, we came from 2 or 3 meetings at IUPA headquarters of about 8 hours each meeting, comparing and contrasting our contract with the city of St. Pete, city of Tampa, and all of the other surrounding collective bargaining agreements for this region. A lot of it was shot down immediately because we were told there's no issue with the current contract. We like the way the wording is. It's worked forever. Why do we need to change things now? On that same philosophy, why are we trying to build more things into the contract if things are working and that's an outside agreed upon ordinance? Why do we need to bring it in here? The last time we met, each time we meet, you want to take policy making decisions out of the contract. You want to take the body worn camera policy out and other things, for example, to give you guys more management rights. Why are we not letting the city commission maintain those managing rights and make the decision as to whether they feel they want to consider COLA is deserved by its retirees or not? We're not on here bargaining for retirees. This is, you know what I mean? We're convoluting the waters. It just doesn't make sense. You can't have it one way and then say you want it another. So I'm curious as to why we can't consider that outside of these, as it's been done now for what, 13 years? Because at one point it was in there. I mean, that doesn't really make sense to me. I'm looking for some more clarification.
I would suggest that you talk with your counsel about the issue about what should be negotiated or not, and what's the law says can be
They
negotiated.
work for us. We're asking the question.
Okay. I can't give you legal advice. I can give my client legal advice, but my position is a subject of negotiation. If you'd like to make a proposal on it, we are happy to consider it.
We're. You guys have any question?
We can
Yeah,
negotiate
that's-
city ordinance here at this table.
No, you can negotiate pension. If you want to negotiate pension,
So
you can talk
pension,
about it.
but pension is in the city ordinance. I'm
Correct.
reading it right now.
Correct. And
So we can negotiate city ordinance at this meeting without,
oh, no,
the
we
city-
have to go back to the city commission and they have to ratify it, much like any other part of a CBA, they have to ratify it.
correct, the CBA. I'm talking specifically ordinance.
So then
Correct.
all right, so let's just take a spitball. picture of this. We agree on something, it goes before them, and now they don't like that, or it doesn't pass the feasibility studies. And so this is the frustrating part, is because we're not asking for an increase. We're simply asking for the study.
So actually, I don't know what you're asking because
But
I would
the
know-
city commissioner.
City
made the
commissioner.
Request to staff, and we were
Okay.
told that request was quashed for your opinion on it. So I don't know what opinion you provided
Okay.
that wound up causing that not to go forward, but it's our frustration with that.
So I don't even, the first time I heard about there being any type of questions about COLA was when I got here at 8:30 this morning.
Who asked the question?
I-
Was it your client asked you a question? I mean, okay. So there we go. That's how it got nixed.
Just for the
That's what
record,
she was waiting
we're
on.
trying to be as absolutely transparent and reasonable as we can. We've never met with any city commissioners outside of negotiations to ask for a COLA increase.
And I have
We
not
simply
accused,
are asking
wait. I have
because
not
it's.
accused you of
No,
doing
I'm
anything
just,
outside
I'm just trying to
negotiation.
clarify for you guys, so you guys can understand our perspective. To straight up just ask for an increase would be disrespectful to our retirees. That we would ask for something that could put the pension into peril. We simply want the actuary study to be done. Am I using the correct term? To see whether it could support it or not. When we asked to do that at one point, we were told we couldn't have anything to do with it because it's something that's a city ordinance. So now the frustration comes in where a city commissioner is saying, can we just see whether this is even possible or not? Because it's in their wheelhouse. They can't even do that. So there's no ask for an increase at this point. It's an ask for the feasibility to even have that conversation. And we have no power in asking that study to be done because it's not a part of the collective bargaining agreement. It's governed by a city ordinance. So I'm not sure why we're conflicting here. We're all on the same page to see whether it's even an affordable thing.
Would you agree that it's within the city commission's wheelhouse to request that feasibility study be done? Would you agree that's appropriate for city commissioner to do for an ordinance-based process?
To request a report?
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and look and see the division of labor between the city manager and the city commission on this issue. I don't know it off the top of my head. And that really is just I don't know. My suspicion is yes, but I don't know off the top of my head.
My suspicion would be, yeah, they could do that too.
But I don't want to go look at law and say, oh, no, that's something with the city manager according to the city charter. So I would have to double check that.
Do you guys have your calendars for availability that we can set a future date and time?
What time frame are you? I'm gonna be honest. I have depositions scheduled all through the month of June. I have maybe a couple of days in June.
What
So
days are you gonna need to get the rest of the numbers for CSI?
Well, that and the rest of the contract. Stacy, what's your availability for the next few? What time frame are you? How quickly do you guys want to come back?
I mean, I gotta be honest with you, if we were able to move in a timely manner on this, it would be a first where we actually got things agreed upon and there was no loss of wages due to no retroactivity. So the sooner the better as far as I'm concerned.
But I'm still unclear what we're waiting on from you guys.
I guess they want to make changes to other things in the contract, it sounds like, but they need clarification.
Actually, to be completely fair, I don't know what the city manager may or may not, the new interim city manager may or may not tell me, tell us as a team.
That's fair.
My understanding is that a meeting is happening this week.
Mhm.
Um,
I don't know if he'll have clarity.
I don't,
The
yeah,
commissioners are not ready.
Seems like it would be a good time to maintain status quo
I hear you.
for a year.
I hear you.
We're not opposed to the concept. We just have to work through some stuff.
What about the week of June 16th?
Which
Day.
Tuesday.
Monday, I'm traveling. Thursday is a holiday. I think Tuesday I'm
I can get
available.
into my calendar right now. Oh, just. Okay. We're talking about Wednesday. Talking about the 18th.
17th.
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 I would
17 or
say
18.
9 or so.
17 or 18.
I'm not any night.
17th after probably noon would be fine.
Yeah.
18th maybe more in the morning.
I got a hold on the 18th, so the 17th at 1 p.m. Or do you want to start at noon?
Start at 11:30 or 12.
What do you guys look like? That a week after?
I'm good on the 17th.
Well, yeah, it's, I got one matter, but it's quick on the 17th. I live here, so.
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm here.
Let's go June 17th. 1 o'clock.
And with that, barring any difficulties back in the same room. Okay. And do you want to put aside like 4 hours for that? That go to 5, 3 hours to 4? What are you thinking?
With the traffic, I'm willing to stay as long as you want. Going north, it's not fun.
That is fair.
We'll do it till 5. We'll post at 5.
Okay.
Be transparent. We are in contact with Teamsters
Mhm.
and how their negotiations are going and what proposals have been brought to them.
Okay.
So just to put that out there, because their words, Benepass was not ever brought up negotiations and they have not been provided any pay or healthcare prices. Proposals.
We've met with them twice.
We do know that.
They have a new chief steward who was there the first session. His name's DJ.
Brian.
We brought up Benepass and then we talked about medical. We provided them with a full contract, the second meeting, full contract. So we did have proposals. DJ wasn't at that one. So I said to the president, Richard, do you want us to complete,
Zabraki.
do you want us to completely go through like this, like actuarial stuff? And he was like, he had questions on medical plan design. So we talked about plan design. But DJ wasn't at that second meeting. So we didn't even get
Yeah,
into it.
TJ said he wasn't at the
No,
23rd.
we didn't even get into it because he wanted DJ to be there. So, and we did give them proposals on the medical plan. Their pay is a different conversation, so it's not structured the same as the pay that we talk about here.
Thank you, guys.
Okay,
Thank you. I'll go.